Have you ever wanted to know how to deal with your social anxiety? Hello, my successful and healthy earthlings. Mihaela Ragush here, naturopath and founder of the Natural Health Podcast. Today, I'm going to share with you exactly what I would do if I had social anxiety step by step. Welcome to the Natural Health Podcast, where we bring awareness of sustainable health in the business hustle space. Natural Health Podcast is perfect for the high-performing individuals who want to work with their biochemistry to achieve success and optimal health. It's Wednesday, which means it's time for What Would I Do? In today's episode of Natural Health Podcast, we discuss this week's question. All questions are kept confidential. I read them and answer it as if it was me, hence why it's called What Would I Do? The information provided is not to be taken as advice and solely for information purposes only. I'm not here to cure, treat, or provide medical advice. I'm here to educate and inform you so you're able to take steps towards optimal health. Please discuss any medical issues, healthcare, or lifestyle changes with your healthcare professional. Let's get into today's question. Today's question goes like this. I suffer from anxiety most days, and it is mainly around people and getting out of the house and doing things outside. Is there anything I'm able to do naturally to assist me with my social anxiety? Well, thank you so much for writing in and putting in this question. Really appreciate it, because you're not the only one that suffers from social anxiety. Let's look into what is actual social anxiety. It can be called social anxiety or social phobia, and it occurs when a person experiences intense anxiety in social situations. I mean, that makes perfect sense, right? So it feels like something like they might be feeling anxious in a social situation. They avoid social situations because they make them feel anxious. They're worried they're going to embarrass themselves. Other people will judge them in social situations. Look, we all know if sometimes can feel very uncomfortable and nervous, or sometimes we get a little bit shy in social interactions and situations. And I mean, every single individual is different. However, some people fear and anxiety. They have so much fear and anxiety in social situations that actually totally avoid it. A little bit of anxiety, seeing someone or doing something new, is so-called natural. But these individuals, they have an extreme where it deliberates their life and it actually affects their life and their lifestyle. So when severe anxiety begins to affect you every day, it's no longer a little thing. It's definitely a huge thing where it actually is social anxiety. For someone with social anxiety, almost anything that involves social interactions is extremely stressful, such as going to school, work, family events, having people over, even going to places, parties, going to the shops, anything along those lines, everyday activities, even making such things like small talk, being in the elevator and someone starts small talk, that can bring on anxiety for them. And you can't even think about talking publicly in front of a group of people or something along those lines. That's not even something they would even consider. So some symptoms include feeling anxious in social situations, where you get physical symptoms such as a racing heart, sweating, that feeling in your stomach, squeeziness, dizziness, shortness of breath in some individuals, feeling pressure to do the right thing in the right social situation, feeling overly self-conscious around others, worrying that others are going to judge, think badly of you, or notice your anxiety, replaying how you acted in social environments. So if you did go outside, you're going to replay in your head how things happened. Did I do the right thing? Did I not do the right thing? And so forth. Trying to keep quiet or not drawing attention to yourself in a social environment, not doing the things you want to do because you're feeling anxious, right? These are some of the things. I mean, look, research suggests that almost 13% of Australians experience social anxiety in their lifetime. That is a staggering number. So you are not alone. There's 13% of Australians that are experiencing exactly or similar to what you are. I also like to put out there that everyone's social anxiety is different. To some, it might mean that they have sweaty hands and they sweat and they're self-conscious about that. To others, it may mean that they have a panic attack every time they think about going out. It is completely different to every individual, but these are some of the signs and symptoms that may come up. So now, the questions that I would ask myself in this instance, maybe ask yourself to figure out the root cause of it or to understand what is happening, is when did this social anxiety start? So I know a number of individuals, sometimes social anxiety started due to a traumatic event, such as them going outside to the pub and having a brawl, or that's an extreme one, something along those lines, so therefore they don't want to go outside anymore. To others, it might be that they've really got embarrassed in a situation and they don't want to socialize anymore. To others, it may not even be an event. It might just be, they don't want to go outside, right? But think about, when did this social anxiety start and when did it get really bad? What happened around that time in your life or around you? How long have you had this for? Has this been only 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months? Has it been years? Has it been, decades? How long have you had this social anxiety for? When do you get social anxiety? Is it literally every day? Is it once a week? Is it once a month? Is it only a few times a year? So does it actually impact your life? As in, you can't go to the shops, you can't go to work, and so forth. Think about that for a little bit. Does it result in a panic attacks, or do panic attacks occur around this social anxiety? Is this a common thing that occurs? What usually triggers this social anxiety? Is it the thought of going outside? Is it the thought of being judged? Is it the thought of socializing? Is it the thought of doing something wrong? Is it the thought of attention? What is it? And then also a few things, this is a naturopath side coming out of me, is what are your zinc, magnesium, and vitamin D levels like? I'm going to go into why I'm asking these. But, what is your food diet? What's your diet like? What foods are you putting into your mouth, into your stomach, into your brain, right? Are they high in B6, B12, zinc? Are you eating a junk food diet that consists of, all those big junk food giants that I'm not going to mention on here, but you know what I'm talking about? Does that consist of that? Or are you eating a whole food diet, which is minimally processed? Think about what your food is like, and if that food changed around the time that your social anxiety began or got worse. Do you exercise? And I know some individuals may get anxiety about going to the gym or even going outside for a walk, but there are ways that you can exercise indoors. Do you exercise? Is this something that you do daily, weekly, monthly, or you actually just live a sedentary life where you're sitting on the couch or laying in bed because it's affecting you this much? How is your sleep going on sleep? There's so many questions I have for you, and I'm just asking some of the key ones. What is your sleep like? Are you sleeping every single night? And not only that, are you getting a refreshed sleep? Are you waking up and being like, wow, I feel so refreshed, I am filled with energy? Or are you waking up being like, I'm going to stay in bed for the rest of the day because I'm not feeling right? Okay, so these are some of the questions to ask yourself. Now the question is, what would I do if I had social anxiety? I would first of all ensure that I talk to a healthcare professional that can assist me with such things as CBT therapy or other therapies like EMDR, which is eye movement desensitization and reprogressing, or EFT, emotional freedom techniques, or anything along those lines that can assist me with therapeutically talking to a healthcare professional, counseling, psychology, and so forth, that can assist on that side. That's the first thing that I would do after answering all those questions. Then I would ensure that my diet is on point. And I know it's like, Mahela, what does on point mean? Well, that means whole food diet with minimal ingredients. So that means lots of vegetables, lots of the food that gives us those magnesium, B12, zinc, and so forth, that's going to ensure that our brain is functioning to an optimal level, but our body overall. So reducing those carbohydrates, that sugary carbohydrates, reducing the heavily processed meals, and ensuring most of the time it's home cooked meals, right? The other thing is such things I would include a meditation. Some people, meditation doesn't really work, so I can include breathing exercises. This is amazing. Box breathing is absolutely amazing, and that's like, so you go in, hold, go out, hold, and again, it's box breathing. Look it up if you don't know about it. Breathing's like that. I will ensure I have peer support, so people around me are aware of what's happening, and then they are best educated on how to deal with me if I do have these breakouts or these social anxiety coming out. If there's somewhere that we need to go, so they know how to deal with me and they're not judging me. That's what I would ensure. Also, I would ensure I have chamomile tea definitely in the cupboard, here for me to drink, here for me to have when I need it. Such other herbs that can assist are kava, passion flower, and so forth. These are just some herbs after talking to your healthcare professional. I would ensure my sleep is on point, my circadian rhythm's on point. I am asleep at night and I'm awake during the day, because this is going to ensure that my brain is functioning to an optimal level. Therefore, my anxiety will be reduced, because when your brain's working at an optimal level, when your body's working at an optimal level, anxiety is short term and it's not long term, it's not chronic. We get anxiety at certain situations that, it's natural to have anxiety, but it's not there to control our lives, right? And this is where zinc, magnesium, vitamin D levels are absolutely key. So I would ensure I run a test, a blood test, or whatever tests are required to ensure that these are on point. And if they're not, work with a healthcare professional to get those levels up. There you have it. I hope this sheds some light to your question. Anyone listening who may have the same issue. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me at mihaela.raguz on Instagram, and I'll be in touch with you and hopefully be able to answer the questions via the Natural Health Podcast. And remember, the missing link between failure and success is your health.